The only thing I love more than responding to Star Wars fans is responding to angry Star Wars fans. You can comfortably and accurately say that my videos aren't exactly popular within the general Star Wars community on YouTube because I tend to defend the sequels quite often, which is a concept that some people just don't understand. For some people, the Star Wars sequels are the worst things to ever be created and their very existence should be wiped from the face of the earth. This is, however, an opinion that I love to counter in my videos, and therefore I get a lot of comments from angry Star Wars fans calling me out for siding with the enemy. Many believe I'm a sequel fanboy and assume that I must be a prequel hater, but neither of those things are true. I love Star Wars, period, and I defend the sequels because they seem to need it the most. Some people may also think that I'm simply an idiot who was just born with less brain cells, while other people like this lovely fella think that I only make these videos to try and stay relevant, which you fucking know I am. Every time I upload anything other than Star Wars, it just doesn't do as well, so here I am with another Star Wars video. I thrive on the controversy. The hate and backlash from angry Star Wars fans fuels my power. No, but I love all of Star Wars, and I think the sequels are good movies, and a lot of people don't agree with me, so today we'll be responding to my hate comments. Some of these comments I've chosen simply because they're funny, but I have also chosen some serious comments which I will respond to with serious arguments, but not all the comments here are hateful. This video is also an opportunity for me to share and elaborate on my Star Wars opinions, but also take the piss out of some people. No offense intended. Alright, I've rambled on long enough, let's just get into the comments. Star Wars is dead. Well, that's very ironic coming from you since you literally reply to every single one of my Star Wars videos, and these days, Star Wars still has one of the biggest and most rabid fan bases in the world. I wouldn't say it's dead. Just look at Anomaly Inc.'s Discord server. Also, that comment apparently wasn't enough for TvaC8uDjAG here because you left another quite fruitful one which said Jesus Christmas. Jesus Christmas to you as well, my friend. Also, remember this name because he will appear later in the video. You are a foul. Thank you. The reason why you'd want to create a sequel trilogy is to see Grandmaster Luke be a badass. I don't know about you, but to me that would make for an extremely boring trilogy. Imagine if all the prequels were just Yoda being badass and flipping around the whole time. Would you still have liked them? The point of making a sequel is to continue the story, not bring people's fan fictions to life. If the sequel trilogy had just been Luke, Han, and Leia doing the same old thing again, with the only difference being that Luke is a hella powerful Jedi Master now, how would that ever have been satisfying in any way? If we'd gotten this, then trust me, people would have hated it. So many fans basically wanted to stunt Luke's character development. I don't think the problem with the sequel stems from the creators making the wrong choices, but rather the fact that no matter what they did, they were destined to fail. For some reason, so many Star Wars fans hate new things, and they judge the sequels before even watching them. If you know you're not going to enjoy a movie and you won't even give it a chance, then don't watch it. It's that simple. And don't watch it unless you're willing to have your mind changed. It's not like the sequels gave the fans the opposite of what they wanted because The Force Awakens was a familiar feeling in comparison to the old Star Wars, and people hated it for being too similar. But then The Last Jedi was completely different and provided new perspectives on the Star Wars we knew before, and fans hated it because it didn't feel like Star Wars. No matter what the sequels became, the fans hated them. It was impossible to please a large part of the fan base from the start, as people viewed the original films as so holy. This trilogy was doomed from the beginning, but it wasn't Disney's fault. It was the fans. We ruined the sequel trilogy for ourselves. We ruined Star Wars.
I completely disagree. When Luke Skywalker thinks Luke Skywalker is bad, you've got a problem on your hands.
The thing is, I even talked about this in the video that he responded to, but I guess he just didn't get the message. Listen, just because Mark Hamill initially disagreed with the direction in which Rian Johnson wanted to take Luke, doesn't mean that Luke was shit in The Last Jedi. Actors and directors argue all the time during film production. A director should be listening to the criticism from his workers because it helps them improve their craft. But in the end, it's the director's word that counts. And in this case, Rian Johnson was both the director and the writer. People don't seem to apply this same logic to other actors within Star Wars. Harrison Ford has repeatedly stated that he wanted Han to die in Return of the Jedi, but couldn't talk George Lucas into it. He was therefore unhappy with the way the character's arc ended in the original trilogy. He finally got his wish, however, in The Force Awakens, but went a long time being unsatisfied with the direction in which the character was taken. Fans don't seem to have a problem with this the same way that they do with Mark Hamill's opinions on Luke. which implies that the actor's opinion is only relevant if it supports one's own beliefs. Being an actor and being a screenwriter are two vastly different professions. Just because they're closely intertwined doesn't mean that being an actor will make you a great writer, and vice versa. Mark Hamill is a great actor and Rian Johnson is a great and proven writer. Johnson doesn't know how to act better than Hamill and Hamill doesn't know how to write better than Johnson. They can give suggestions to each other and provide their input, but in the end, no matter what the actor says, the writer and director knows best. So yeah, just because he plays the character doesn't mean he understands it the best, and even if he does, he doesn't get the final say. Anyways, Mark Hamill has stated before in interviews that he often argued with Ryan about Luke, but he's also mentioned that after watching the movie he really enjoyed it. But so many of his interview clips have just been taken out of context and are used by the fandom to criticize Rian Johnson, Disney, and the rest of the cast. After seeing that he was being used as a symbol for the hate train, Hamill apologized on Twitter for having ever said anything. Stop using Mark Hamill to justify your hatred of the movie, and especially stop using Mark Hamill to justify attacks on the creators of this movie online. It has nothing to do with Mark Hamill, it has to do with you just being a shit person. Oh, so I'm not necessarily talking directly about the guy who left this comment. I'm pretty sure he just simply doesn't like the portrayal. But I just used his comment to voice my opinion on this topic and the fans who take it too far.
All the things we love about Luke isn't there in the sequels. He is a suicidal hermit. It was trash.
Well, first of all, this comment is on a video about why sequel Luke is good in my opinion. In this video, I clearly state why I think Luke was written perfectly in The Last Jedi, how his character is very reminiscent of how it was in the originals, and how complexity was added to his arc. So I really don't see the point of this comment because it adds nothing to the argument since it lacks evidence. The fact that you don't mention anything I said in this video shows that you didn't leave this comment to start a debate, but that you did it to hate. And if you clicked on this video knowing that your opinion wouldn't change, then why the fuck would you waste your time on it? Too many people within the Star Wars community will actively search for anyone with a different opinion than them and attack them for it. Whether it's a video defending the sequels or a video defending the prequels, there are always those people who have such an intense hatred for this media that they'll ruin the franchise for everyone else. Because Luke is not suicidal. He wants the Jedi to end, yes, but he doesn't want to kill himself. You can be depressed without wanting to kill yourself. It's just a wrong statement that stems from your own anger. Listen, people can leave all the comments they want on my videos, bashing my opinions. I couldn't care less. I'm saying this for your own sake. There are better things you could be doing with your time than being angry on the internet about a character portrayal. If you don't like the sequel, then that's completely fine. You don't have to watch them. No one is forcing you to watch them. The originals and prequels are still great, so watch them instead and just focus on why you love Star Wars to begin with. Trust me, it will make you happier. That was longer than I thought it would be. Anyways, let's continue. I said I like the sequels at my school and now everyone is trying to kill me. They've located my house and are sending me messages via my Gmail. I really don't know if this guy is serious or not. He probably isn't. It's likely just an over-exaggeration and a joke that people are trying to kill him because that's murder and murder is bad. However, being harassed because of your views on Star Wars movies is very common. I mean, thousands of people get called a rat shit or an idiot every day because of a disagreement over the internet. This isn't just the sequels, by the way. It can happen to anyone. I've seen prequel fans being attacked, original trilogy fans attacked, and even the people who like all of the Star Wars movies get shit on for being a Star Wars simp. Me? I don't know how the fandom got like this. When do we all just turn on each other? My dream is to one day see this once great franchise restored and have peace within the fandom.
You made pretty lazily arguments.
So I read this one morning and I thought, oh, that's not good. I try my hardest to make my arguments as strong and thoughtful as possible, so if they're lazily formulated in this video, then I'm very sorry about that. So naturally, I responded by asking, could you elaborate on which ones? Just so you know, I could improve my videos for the future. And so I waited and waited and nothing. No answer. But I still had hope in this person because they simply may not have seen my reply. Until Esper here said she didn't reply. To which Mordem's soul angrily replied with, he is not a she. And that there's no point in arguing over the internet. And so I'm just thinking, well, why the fuck did you write this comment then? So I have lazy arguments, but you couldn't bother to tell me what they were? That's kind of a lazy argument in itself, don't you think? Or maybe you just didn't know what to say. Maybe this was just another mindless hate comment, in which case, my power is boiling even greater. Good overview, but I can't get over your view of toxic fans and how enlightened you and your subscribers are. I don't know what you think a toxic fan is, but I can understand that you're confused. I don't have just a single definition of what a toxic Star Wars fan is, because you can be toxic in different ways. I called Anomaly Inc. toxic because he was being a hypocrite. In the videos I watched, he went to the ends of the earth defending the prequels, which is great in itself. However, he shrugged the sequels off as worthless with vague and unclear arguments, refusing to listen to anyone else. He was criticizing others for being vague in their arguments towards the prequels while he was being vague towards the sequels. And that's hypocritical. I think it's a toxic mentality to have, especially when you have such a large audience who believe everything you say. I hate how he says he's so objective towards the prequels and views them as movies, but the sequels are just fan fiction that deserve to be deleted. He never once tried to look at them as movies. However, Anomaly Inc. is not the worst of the fandom. Someone like the amazing Lucas is much worse. People who harass the actors and the creators of the movies they dislike. Those are the true toxic ones. In his video on The Last Jedi, he says that he wishes that all the people who had any part in the movie gets cancer and suffer until they're almost dead, and I don't care if it was meant to be a joke. It is not funny. It's toxic. Many people would have listened to him and subscribed to that mentality as well. These are the type of people to openly attack the actors and Rian Johnson, the type of people who made Kelly Marie Tran and Daisy Ridley leave social media for a while. I'm sorry if you think I'm arrogant or that I think I'm enlightened. I'm just a normal person. However, anyone who doesn't think that attacking the actors online is wrong is, in my opinion, a trash human being. So yeah, call me falsely enlightened or stupid, but if you don't agree with me here, then I'm sorry, but I don't care. Saying you wish cancer upon innocent people will never be alright. Speaking of wishing people to get deathly sick, the man, the myth, the legend himself returns here with, I hope you get corona. Now, I don't really get bothered when anyone hates on me. I really couldn't care less, but I'm worried for this person. On several videos, he has harassed many people in the comments section, and even though no one cares because my subscribers are too mature for his bullshit, I can't imagine having so much anger and hate inside of me. It just can't be a fun way to live. To wake up and feel the urge to go online and wish death upon people over a movie you didn't like. That is beyond toxic, and it's sad. And I'm sorry if it's because you didn't get enough love and attention during your childhood, so you feel the need to stay relevant in the comment sections of a random Danish kid with 270 subscribers. I feel bad for you, I truly do. Start trying to see the brighter parts of life, stop terrorizing people in my comments, and don't focus on the shit that really doesn't matter. It'll make you happier in the long run. So it has come this other may question my wisdom, but I know in my heart that I did what was right. I really like this one because I have no idea what he's talking about. Like, I don't know if this is a response to my arguments or the video or the person I'm responding to or just anything really. Maybe just like that quote and wanted the world to know. My guess we may never find out. Star Wars fans try to act like film critics and suck the fun out of everything. Now, this guy isn't hateful, he's just angry, and it's completely understandable. Too many Star Wars fans act like they know more about filmmaking than professional award-winning filmmakers. Heck, I do this. I have a YouTube channel devoted to talking about film and what makes for a good movie, and even though I've studied film as a hobby for a while now, that doesn't make me credible when talking about movies. What real qualifications do I have? This is why I try to refrain myself from making videos where I bash movies and just point out their flaws out of hate, because who am I to say that a movie is bad? Except for Disaster Movie, I fully stand by calling that movie one of the worst ever made. I couldn't make a better movie than most professional filmmakers out there. I point out the negatives of movies in my videos because I believe all movies have flaws, and it's important to recognize them because it helps you appreciate the good shit about the movies. But mainly I try to use the knowledge I've gained about filmmaking to highlight the positives that can be found within all movies, and spread awareness to media like the Star Wars sequels or Game of Thrones Season 8 that in my opinion are being unfairly hated on. So I'm sorry if I'm sucking the fun out of Star Wars by thinking that I actually know jack shit about filmmaking, but most of the time it's the only way to counter the people who blindly hate without substance.
I don't think you know what the word bias means.
Well, from a quick dictionary search, I can tell you that bias is a particular tendency, trend, inclination, feeling, or opinion, especially one that is preconceived or unreasoned. Essentially, if your own opinions, emotions, or preferences play any part in your critique of a movie, then bias has played a part in that critique as well. However, bias can be more of a problem in certain situations because literally everything we do as humans is biased. For example, if, like me, your childhood was built around the Lord of the Rings, and most of your happy memories come from those movies, then you wouldn't be able to give an objective and unbiased review of those movies, because nostalgia and your own emotions would affect your judgment. And that's okay. Even after learning more about film as an art and craft and actually thinking that these movies are cinematic masterpieces from a filmmaking perspective, that opinion is still not credible because I have so much bias towards the movies. The truth is, human beings are incapable of living without bias, and therefore very little in our world is truly objective. As even if a movie is viewed as objectively bad, there's someone out there who loves it. That's what I think bias means, and I think it's a problem within the Star Wars community because people use their biased opinions to harass each other. Bias is not always a bad thing, but it can be in certain situations, like Star Wars. Especially if people are trying to pass their biased opinion off as the objective truth. I hope that answered your inquiry. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you want me to respond to more comments in the future, then please do leave a like. If you want more Star Wars and just film related content, then do subscribe to the channel and leave your suggestions down in the comments. We've been growing really fast the past couple of months, and I honestly can't thank you all enough. It's insane. In relation to the George Floyd murder and the unending problem of racism and police brutality that for some reason still exists in society, I'll leave a link to a Google Doc down in the description that has a bunch of links to various petitions and donation links. If you feel useless in this situation just like I do, just know that there are still little things you can do to help. Signing a single petition is free and does more than you realize. This is the 21st century, no person should be murdered because of the color of their skin. But yeah, the link will be down in the description, so please do check it out. Anyways, if you want to join in on some riveting discussions, then join my Discord. The link is down in the comments. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and peace out.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？